So, hello, Ivan. This is my name is Barbara Hess. I'm a shamanic practitioner and a Paco, and I'm doing also a year-long training with the Kavak Paco as a Kavak Paco with Elizabeth Jenkins. And I would like to introduce now my teacher, Ivan. You are my teacher because Ivan Nunes de Prado. I have done the Hatun Kapai with you and one in 1916 and 1918 at right side and Panya and left side Yoke in Peru. And I'm currently giving 2 weekend spirituality workshops in Galway at Pathway Teaching. So I was wondering, Ivan, as my teacher, if you could tell us more about yourself, about the Hatun Kapai in Peru, and about the 4th level initiation, what you give, and the Champa Awai, Navikishwai, and maybe the lineage.
Okay, I think we can go step by step.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, my name is Iván Núñez del Prado. I am Peruvian, and I was born in Cusco, and I am a Paco. Paco is the name that is given today to a practitioner of the ancient spiritual tradition of the Incas, coming from the Incas. Now, it's actually kind of a mystical tradition which works deeply in connection with nature, but also is special because always considers the group work, the communal work, the nation work. So it's very, very focused in the human group and the community, and to develop across the connections with different levels and sizes of communities. Paco is somebody who took an initiation and received this initiation from a master, because we are part of lineages of practitioners, teachers, masters who carry the tradition across the time. And the Paco is somebody who was trained and learned from a master, and then from there has a practice that can be a private practice. You as a Paco can only have your private exercises and do your energy work for yourself or maybe your family. But eventually, sometimes, some of us decide to do the Paco work as a teacher, for example. Because a Paco can be a teacher, can train people in the tradition, can be normally as an advisor, because in the community, in your group, when people knows that you are a Paco, people knows that you have a particular vision about the reality, so you can bring advice and people and help people and guide people with that. And the Paco is also a healer. As a healer, we have healing rituals, healing practices, and all together, that is more or less what a Paco, a practitioner of the Inca tradition, can do. I was trained in what is called the 4th level of the tradition, which is the mystical tradition, understood as a path that is helping you to search for the spirits, to search for the energies, and to have direct experiences in relationship with the energies, with the energy beings, with eventually get the big spirits and God, however you call your God. That is more or less what a Paco is. It's a searcher, but it can be also a teacher. With your experience, you can pass this to other people and share the ways of the tradition and share the ways of the mystical path of the Andes. That's what we call the 4th level.
And so you also give the 4th level initiation, the Kapai in Peru, and also at your courses, which you give all over the world, your Cosmovision courses, which are the 10-day courses, the 4th level initiation. And so could you tell me more about the Hatun Kapai in Peru, the Yoki and the Panya?
Yes, see, you have attended some of those teachings. No? The Hatun Kapai, it's a complete training for a person who has never done anything before. So we start really from scratch, from zero, and step by step we do the training and the initiations and the preparations. That's what's called Hatun Karpai. We have organized these Hatun Karpais in trips of 10 days in Peru, traveling and visiting power places and doing the initiations and the teachings there, like the ones you made in the past. You have made 2 of these, right? We teach,
amazing.
Yeah, we teach 3 Hatun Karpais, and they are different because they focus in different aspects of the tradition. The Panya, the right side Hatun Karpai, the Chaupi, or the middle side Hatun Karpai, and the Yoke, or the left side path Hatun Karpai. So every one of them is a full training in one of the aspects of the tradition. We have a very wide tradition, so every one of these aspects have different ways to see it, likely different approach to the practices and the reality. And if we see it from the point of view of the powers that the tradition defines as the targets for our developing of our personal power, for example, the tradition says that we have 3 powers. The Panya, the right side, is especially related with the power of Yachai, or intellectual knowledge. So all the concepts, all the way, the ideas or the teachings of this part is the main power. Of course, every initiation also brings the other 2, but Panya, the right side, is mainly focusing Yachai, intellectual knowledge. The Chaupi, or the middle side, is the side that works extensively with feelings, or what we call Munai. Munai is a second power, for us the most important one, the number 1, but it goes in the middle. And Munai is about love and will together. Okay, the idea behind that is that your love, your feelings must be under your will. Your feelings must be governed by your will. That's the idea behind. So the Chaupi, it's a training in learning how to develop, how to cultivate your feelings properly, and how to put them under your will. I know it's not something so romantic, but it's very powerful when we are able to direct and address our feelings under our will, consciously love things and beings and what we do, right? So this is the Chaupi, the middle side. And then we have the left side, or the Yoke Hatun Karpai, which is more the path of the action. The main power there is Yankai, which means labor or work, action, if you can see it like that. And the path of the left side is about doing things, taking power actions, let's say. The training is about how to learn how to connect with the energies, integrate certain powers, and then do something. It's the part of the healing, for example. The healing is more related with the left side, and it's a lot of inner work, because as you know, we connect factors with our inner self, and we bring certain powers in us. But then this is focused into later expressing this as an action, as a teaching, as something you do outside, but from the very deep inside. This is the left side. So this is how we teach. And complementary to those trips or power journeys in the spirits, we teach also some workshops, okay, of the right side and the middle side and the left side, Panya, Chaupi, and Yoke. Those are made indoors, not outside with power places, but they are made like that because they belong to the teachings we receive with our masters indoors. When we were trained, we were received classes at home in their places normally. Okay, so all those teachings are made to be shared indoors. And then later we will go outside to work with power places. So in the workshops we make, in the teachings indoors, are the complementary teachings and the fundamentals that are going to allow you later to do the practices outside and to work with power places. So that's how we organize our teachings. Normally we teach, we make workshops abroad in many places, like the ones you have seen and attend many times. Then people comes to Peru to complete their training with us. And that is the training of a Paco. We teach the 4th level, and this is the mystical path. It's in direct connection with nature and in direct connection with the energies. And that's altogether what we call the Hatun Karpai. Hatun means great, Karpai means initiation, okay? Karpai also can be understood as personal power. Personal power is like the sum of your capacities, all the things you can do. If you see the Karpai from the point of view of the 3 main powers, Munai, Yankai, and Yachai, your Karpai are all the things you can feel, all your Munai, all your feelings, all the things you can think, like the Yachai, all the things you can know, and all the things you can do. The sum of all these 3 powers is what we call Karpai. So the meaning behind Hatun Karpai, the great initiation, is that it's all focused in the developing of the person. So it's a training to develop yourself in consciousness. Another way that the tradition uses to call itself is Kausai Puri. No? Kausai is the name of the living energies. No? The living energies are called Kausai. The proper translation for Kausai is life. Okay? Kausai Puri. Puri means to walk. Okay? So this way of calling itself that the tradition uses many times, Kausai Puri, refers to walk through life, to walk through the connections with the energies of life, with the events of your life, but with awareness. It's a conscious process of traveling, walking through life. That's the idea of Kausai Puri. And the training is to make you more conscious, more aware of the things that happen to you or are happening around you, more aware of the energies that are moving back and forth, and more aware of how much you can really do, how much you can affect the reality, transform the reality, improve the reality with your own skills, with your own capacities. So that is the idea of the Kausai Puri, is to walk in consciousness. It's like have a full awareness of the environment, the energies, yourself, everything that is around you, and to connect properly with the reality. And the tradition says that if you do that, if you are aware of the things that are around you, if you're aware of the energies, of course, you are going to be able to make the best out of life. A good life for us, Ayin Kausai is called, means good life, but the tradition says that you can make a good life when in your life you have good Aini. Aini is reciprocity. Aini is about giving and receiving. So one of the main and the guidelines of our tradition is the Aini, the reciprocity, the cosmical reciprocity. And it tells us that single thing that happens in our life is a sort, it's a way of reciprocity. It's about giving and receiving. And if we want to build a good life, we want to build a good quality life, we need to focus in having a good reciprocity. Because it's not just about giving, it's also about receiving. Then when you give and receive, you are making Aini. And the tradition teaches you that you need to learn how to give properly, and you also need to learn how to receive properly. Are two different moments in your life, but you need to learn how to make them well. The idea is when you give, you need to give with generosity and detachment, really giving, okay? And when you receive, you need to be humble first to be able to recognize that there are some things you don't have. And when you recognize that you're missing something, then you make room in yourself, and then you are able to receive and embrace whatever is given to you. So it is our practice. No? There are two moments in life, moments of giving and moments of receiving. I mean, you do well these two moments, then your aini is going to be good. Your reciprocity is going to be good. Then your life is going to be good. So the alien causa, the building of a good life, as the tradition says, is about being aware of your powers and your skills, okay? Of your personal capacities and your personal connections, no? And then live in relationship, in a proper relationship, in a healthy relationship of Aini with all the cosmos, all the environment or the universe. No? That's what the tradition tells us about. And the training of the Hatun Carbide is exactly that. It will give you concepts, it will give you techniques, it will give you a vision, the cosmovision of the Inca tradition, in order to be able to act those advices or those requests that the tradition puts in front of you to make good Aini, to make good life. That's the idea behind. And a Paco, what we do, is a specialist, is somebody who has the vision and then is able to teach, and then is able to heal, and then is able to advise people, because you carry the vision, then you can help others around. And this, of course, is going to improve your Aini too, your reciprocity with the whole cosmos. That is more or less the life of the Paco.
So, what I would be very much interested in the Champi Abai Nawe Kishwai, which is an amazing. I got my stones, and people. It's a little bit. It is taught a little bit different than the original way is with the water is. Around the Siki and not, you know, it's been taught, some people that taught he the other way around. So I was just wondering if you could go more into that depth, what actually the Champi Abai Nawi Kishwai does, and which is amazing power, which gives me anyway, and people love receiving it.
Yeah, see, the Chumpiawe ritual was recovered by my father back in 1980. Okay, in the last formal school of Pacos in Qéro. You know, Qéros are the keepers of the ancient tradition, the most traditional keepers of the ancient Inca spirituality in Peru, okay? And my father was accepted and was trained in a school there, okay? So they have a place, and the owner of that school was the master, Don Andrés Espinosa, and Don Andrés was the teacher of my father. Okay, the first teacher of my father, who passed him this initiation and this part of the training. The Chumpi Awai, Chumpi means belt, Awai means to weave. Chumpi Awai is the weaving of belts. That's how the initiation ritual is called. And it's also called Nyawi Kichai. Nyawi means I. We consider that we have several energetical eyes or centers, okay? Places in our body, parts of our body who have a special concentration of energy, then they are more sensitive to certain kinds of energies. So the ritual of initiation is also called Nyawi Kichai, to open eyes, Kicha is to open, to activate, and Ñawi means I. So this first ritual of initiation of the Qéro school of Don Andrés Espinosa, where my father was trained and I was trained later into that tradition, it's about this, opening and activating a number of eyes, Ñawi, that are 7 eyes. And then after and during the ritual, you are also going to be creating certain connections or seke. Seke is an energy cord. So some of the buildings are going to be sekes or energy cords, and others, 4 of them, are going to be belts. That's where the name comes from, weaving belts. So they are belts of energy that are going to be created on your skin, on the surface of your body. And the concept behind is that it's going to be like a energy dressed for yourself. It's an energy dress. You're going to be dressed by your master, who is going to build the energies for you. And then when you get that, you are going to receive, as a consequence of the initiation, an integration, because all those eyes, all those energy centers are going to be activated. And then all these centers are going to be connected by belts or by cords. Now, they are not all belts, they are not all cords. So some are cords, some are belts. So then you are going to receive an integrated system of perception. Okay, and then this is going to allow the energies to flow better through yourself, and the energies to find their ways to flow properly in your body and in your energy body, what we call the pokpo, right? We work with what is called wasi, means temple or home, okay? And wasi, this temple or home, our own personal temple or home, is made by our energy field, which is called pokpo in Quechua, which means bubble. It's an energy field that we call the bubble. And the body, which is called hanchi. Hanchi is the physical body. And the third factor of this wasi is what we called the seed. Okay, the seed is a high quality factor that we understand comes from God, from the heavens into ourselves, and is what carries and contains all our potential as a human being. We can call this the spirit too, if you want. You know? We call it the seed. Okay. Of course, we come from a long tradition of farmers, so all our metaphors are going to be related with plants and the earth, and so it's the seed. But then your wasi, your temple, it will be made by these 3 factors: your seed or your spirit, your hanchi or your body, and your pokpo, your energy bubble, energy field. All can be also understood as your mind. Altogether, these 3 factors made your wasi. And from there, this wasi will be your vehicle. You are going to spend all your life in this, and you are going to travel through life with this vehicle, and you are going to make all your connections from there, and you are going to make all your ainis, all your reciprocity, every interchange from that point. Your wasi is probably the only thing in the world that really belongs to you and is fully under your will. Okay, from there, when we are going to make the Chumpiawa initiation, is going to align and connect all the factors or the energy factors that are within our wasi, not only in our body, but also in our energy field. It's a way to connect and integrate those factors. Okay, it's what now is well called synergy, right? Synergy is when you put together things, when you integrate things, and then the law of synergy says that the whole is more than the sum of the parts, right? It's modern physics. But in our energy body, it works exactly in the same way. We have several energy factors that are within us and they are the part of ourselves, but sometimes they are not well or properly connected. But when you integrate them, then you as a whole, because every part and aspect of yourself is going to be integrated, you are higher, you are more powerful than before because you are aligned and connected, right? That is the idea behind the Chumpiawe. And then the Chumpiawe, as I told you, is going to touch several centers that we call Nyawis, okay? Nyawi means eye. And those Nyawis are 7 and are as follows. The first eye is called Siki, okay, Nyawi. Is the center of the base of the spine. It's open by the back, exactly at the base of the spine, and it has a root, which is a point opposite to it, like will be more or less in the pubic bone. So the Siki is related with the energy of the impulse that in the tradition is called Ati, okay? The Ati is the energy of the impulse, but Ati in Quechua also means power, capacity to do, okay? Like the definition, the physical definition of energy in physics, no? Energy is the capacity to produce some work, right? What we call Ati is also that. It's power because it's the capacity to do some things. But it's related, the Ati is related with the energy of the impulse. Or this raw energy that we have in us, but needs to be certainly in certain way transformed to be properly expressed, but is there in the base of the spine that we call Siki. The Siki Nyawi is in the tradition related, has a special affinity. It's not exclusive because that's not the only energy that goes there, but it has a special affinity with the water or Mamaun. Okay, so this will be the Nyawi, the eye, the first eye. The second is called Cosco. Cosco means navel. So this eye is in the place around our navel. Okay, it's an energy concentration place. It's called Cosco, the navel. And the Cosco is related with another kind of energy, which is called Kuyai. Kuyai can be defined as our passion. Okay, Kuyai is passion. It's the passionate way of connecting with things. It's this really strong bond that we can create with things and with the things we create, with our creation, with many things in life. No? When we are passionate about something, we are very focused and very capable to deal with this thing. So the Kuya is like that, no? And the energy that we recognize in the navel, in the Cosco, is called Kuya or passion. And this energy has a special affinity. Again, it's not exclusively connected with that, but it has a special affinity with the energy of the earth, which is called Alpa. No, we mentioned water before. Water is uno. And the energy that it connects with the Cosco is the energy of the earth. Okay. Then the third eye is the Sonko. The Sonko is the heart. So it is a center that is in the middle of our chest, close to the heart, and is called Sonko. Okay, Sonko is the center of our feelings. So the main energy that is connected with Sonko is called Munai. We mentioned that before. Munai is feelings under your will. So the power in the heart, the power in the Sonko is the Munai, the power of our feelings. And according to the tradition, this center has a special affinity with the energy of the sun or Inti, right? Then the fourth eye, the fourth ñawi, is called the Kunka ñawi. It's the center of the throat. Kunka in Quechua literally means neck. Okay, so the neck eye, the Kunka ñawi, is located in here in our neck. We always say throat because it's easier to focus in it, but literally means neck. And the Kunka ñawi is the center that is related with the power of the Yachay. Okay, Yachay is the intellectual knowledge. So the energy we found there in this center is the energy of the intellect. And this ñawi is particularly, especially connected with the energy of the wind. The power of the wind is Waira or Taita Waira, father wind. We call father or mother this kind of powers because as you know, the Texe Apu, the main or the universal Apus are these four and some more, right? So these four eyes have this special affinity with these four powers. And then in the ritual of initiation, we are going to build belts around these centers and belts that connect those four eyes especially. So the Siki ñawi will have a black belt, which is called Yanawara. Yanawara in Quechua means black short pants. So it's like if we have a slit, okay, around our hips and one band between our legs. So that's the image we have, no, of the black belt. Okay, that is at the height of the Siki ñawi. Okay, so this Yanawara is the black belt and the first of the four. The second belt is at the height of the Cosco, at the height of the navel, and goes around our waist, okay, and is red. This belt is called Puka Chumpi or red belt, okay? And this red belt also goes up by our chest to reach the Sonko, the heart. And at the level of the Sonko, we have the third belt. The third belt is called Kori Chumpi. Kori means gold, so it's the golden belt. And then this golden belt goes from our heart around our shoulders, okay, on top of our shoulders at this height, and is the third one, the Kori Chumpi or golden belt. Then the fourth, and again, this golden belt also will extend and go by the chest and go high to connect with the neck, with the Kunka ñawi. And then from the Kunka ñawi, we are going to have the silver belt. The third belt is called Kolke Chumpi, which means silver belt, and it goes around our neck at the height of the Kunka ñawi. Those are the belts, okay? Other factors that are part of the initiation are cords. One cord that is going to connect the neck with our two eyes, that if we continue counting are the fifth and the sixth eye, the Paña ñawi, the right eye, and the Yoki ñawi, the left eye, are the fifth and the sixth. And the last one is called the Hanchis ñawi, the seventh eye. It's here in between the two eyes, in the lower forehead, in our front. And this seventh eye is located in the same position where other traditions, especially in the East, locate the third eye. Now, many people talk about the third eye. We call it the seventh because we count differently. In our tradition, of course, we consider several eyes as centers of perception, and the Hanchis ñawi is the seventh. Hanchis ñawi is in the forehead, in the front, and according to the tradition, together with the other two eyes, the right and the left, the fifth and the sixth, allows us to see the reality in deep. Because the right eye and the left eye, our eyes, are the ones who allows us to see the tangible, the visible reality. Okay? But the reality is not only tangible and material. There's also a metaphysical side of the reality. And this side of the reality can be seen through the seventh eye, to the Kanchis Nyawi. That's what the traditions say. So you are making this Kawah course, right? It's a training to learn how to see, okay? And I'm sure you are connecting with all those eyes to be able to see all those energies. And especially the three ones on top, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh eye, are the ones who are really empowering our vision, okay? So when you are able to see the tangible reality and you're able to see the metaphysical reality, then you can have a vision of the world. You can have a good connection, a healthy connection with the reality as it is. The Kawai or the Kawach, the seer, is the one who can see, in our tradition, the reality. But it's not the one who is trying to see the spirits or looking for visions and things. It's more a very, very grounded way of seeing the things. It's the one who's able to see the things as they really are. Okay? We tend to overlap on the reality our intentions, our desires, and our wishes. Okay? So in a certain way, we mix our wishes with the tangible reality, with the concrete reality in front of us. The idea of the Kawai and the Kawach, the seer, is to be able to clean the vision of the reality from off our wishes and our dreams, to be able to see what really is there in front of us. And then when you see well, because you see what is really there in front of you, of course, when you act and you do anything, you will do better because you are doing in connection with the reality as it is, the best possible version of the reality. That's the idea of the seer in our tradition and what we look for. So after this, we are also going to work in the Chumpiawe. It's actually done at the beginning, but is also part of the initiation with the kurku, the spine, which is a main channel for the energy to flow when you are doing anything, and some other points. The initiation of the Chumpiawe considers also 5 points that need to be just remember. Okay. The one is the top of your head, the very top of your head. It's a point which is called the Uma. Uma in Quechua means head, but for the energy work is just this point, not the whole head, right? Then we consider that we have 2 points in the palms of our hands. Those two are called Maki, hand. The right hand is Panyamaki, and the left hand is Yokemaki. And finally, other 2 points at the sole of our feet, okay? One on the right foot is called Panya Chaki, and the other on the left foot is called Yoke Chaki. So these 5 points are also considered points of perception and connection. Is, let's say, the channels to connect with the world, with the surrounding world, to yourself. They are not nyawis, but they are energy points, let's say. And then with this picture is that we make the Chumpiawai and the Nyawi Kichai. Nyawi Kichai is the activating and the opening of eyes, and Chumpiawai is the weaving of belts and cords of Chumpis and Seke, which are the energy cords. And with this, basically, what we do is to build an energy dress to the person who received the initiation, and to, let's say, set the conditions for a proper connection with the reality to the energy centers. It's important to remember that the intention behind the Chumpiawai is not to create an armor or to protect or to close yourself. In the contrary, it's just to open yourself completely, to connect with everything, to connect with anything, okay? It's a dress, but your eyes, your nyawis are going to be exposed and open and active. So it's not a way, a protection technique in any way, because the protection techniques are normally like little bricks that you start to put in front of yourself. So one protection technique plus another protection technique, and then you have a wall around you that prevents you to feel what the reality is, what is happening around you. So all the spirit of the tradition never considers, at least in the mystical path, in the mystical way, protection techniques. And this weaving of the belts is nothing like a shield or an armor or anything like that. In the contrary, it's just to be completely open, completely exposed, but safe in a different way. If you rise the energy of yourself, if you rise your power, you are safe, but in a different way. Okay, it's not just to close yourself behind a wall and protect yourself, just isolating or separating yourself from the world. It's the control, exactly the opposite. Is to take away all the boundaries, to take away all the walls around you in order to connect, in order to perceive, and in order to be completely conscious and aware of the reality and your path in this life. That's the purpose, okay? So this dress is like, it's an energy dress, of course. It is made, that's very important, with the energy that Pachamama provides. When the Ñahuiquicha and the Chumpiawa is made, the person who gives you the initiation, the master, addresses and makes the energy flow from Pachamama and uses this energy to build the belts, to activate and open all the Ñawis. So it's an energy dress made with the power of Mother Earth, of Pachamama, and it is like a very good dress. Well, a very good dress is for party, for dancing, for celebrating, and that's the nice dress made for, okay? Nothing to do with protections and isolations, and okay, it's not the spirit of our tradition. It's to be connected, to be fully connected and aware of what is happening every time, all the time in your life. That is the spirit of the whole Kausai Puri. And this initiation takes you and puts you exactly in that shape, in the position to be able to connect deeply with yourself and to be able to connect deeply with the energies and the persons around you. Okay, that's the Chumpi Awai.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what about like from the Hanak Pacha, from the heavens comes down a cord as well, doesn't it? Or
Exactly.
an energy into the...
Exactly. And in the very beginning of the initiation, as you remember it, we use a cord, a connection that has been there since the very first day of our life. The tradition says that in the moment that your body is created, as soon as you are conceived, this tiny little body will pull a drop of the big spirit of God, of Viracocha as we call it, from the heavens. That's what we call the seed, your spirit. But the tradition says that when this drop of the spirit comes down into yourself, brings a cord that is going to connect with yourself in the fontanelle. The tradition says it's there. No? And then, since that very moment, the first second of your life, you are going to always be connected with the heaven, with the Hanak Pacha, with the upper world, by this cord. And when we start the initiation, the first thing we do with our first kuya of the 5 is to use the first kuya, which is called chulia, or single. We place it in the fontanelle, and with that, we make the intention to pull the energy from the upper world, to infuse this energy in you, to empower you with the energy from the Hanak Pacha, right? immediately after we create this flow and we bring this light energy into you, we are going to replace it with the second kuya, okay, called Yanantin. Yanantin will take this energy that is in your fontanelle and is going to transport it to your head first. While you are moving that, you are going to create two fields of energy, one in each side of your head, okay? And those two fields are going to then stretch in your neck, going down your neck, and become two cords. And then in the initiation, we're going to pull these two cords across your kurku, your spine, and connect these two with the sikinyawe, with the center of the base. And then we're going to pull a third cord from the ground, and a green cord from the ground across your spine, entering your body by the sikinyawe. And then you will have three cords across your spine. And we're going to make the intention to merge these three powers, two energies that come down and one energy that goes up from the ground, to create across your spine the black energy, which is called Wilka. Wilka is the highest power according to the vision of the tradition, and happens to be black. So this black energy across your spine is also going to field your sikinyawe. And with this black energy, okay, still with the second kuya, with Yanantin, you are going to build the first belt, the black belt or the Yanawara, around your hips and between your legs to the root of the Siki, and then go up to connect with the Cosco. In that moment, you are going to change the kuya, the stone, and you are going to bring in the kuya with 3 points, which is called Kinsantin. Kinsantin is going to be the one you are going to build the red belt with. So from the Cosco with the kuya of 3 points, you are going to make the belt around the waist of the person who is being initiated. And then bring this belt still and connect it into the heart. In that moment, you change stone again. You bring the stone with 4 points, which is called Tawantin. Tawan in Quechua means 4. Tawantin is the integration of 4. Is for us the archetype of completeness and wholeness, Tawantin. So this kuya, this stone has 4 points. And you bring Tawantin into your heart, you connect it there, and from there, the energy becomes golden, and you build the golden belt around the shoulders of the person, returning back to the heart with 4. Then, still with 4, with Tawantin, you build the belt that goes from the heart to the neck. Connect this power in the neck, and then you change stone for the last time to use the 5-point stone. Okay, when you bring this 5-point stone, which is called Piscantin, okay, Piscantin will bring another quality of energy, and then the energy will change into silver energy. And with this silver energy, you are going to build the belt, the silver belt around your neck. And with these 5 points still, you are going to connect, you bring a cord going up your face, you connect the 2 eyes, the 6 and the 7 eye, and then you connect and activate and open the 7 eye or the Kanchis Nyawe. Okay? And the last step of the initiation is you remove the stone, and then the person who is receiving the initiation needs to absorb by the 7 eye violet energy, violet light, and feel body, okay, and then the bubble with this violet light. And that's the conclusion of the Chumpiawe, right? Yeah. This, as I told you, has the quality to integrate and connect all the Nyawis, all the eyes, activate them and make them a system of perception, and puts you in the best shape for the energy to flow between you. You know? Many times in life, you hear people who say, oh, I feel splitted. I feel that my heart is telling me to go one way, but my mind is telling me to go the other way, and I don't know what to do. Okay, when this happens is that these people has not connection, the energy is not flowing properly between the heart and the mind. And when you make the Chumpiawa, you solve that. You connect this, you clean the hucha and the blocks and energy that is on the way. And that, for example, you also hear people telling, oh, I am an impulsive person. I just jump and do something, and then I regret it because I am impulsive. I didn't think about it. And then I regret because when I think, okay, I realize that that was a mistake. And this means that your impulse, the energy in your Sekinyawi, is not connected with your feelings and your thoughts. And then you regret that. And when you regret what you did, that's not okay for yourself, right? It feels bad. You feel sad. You feel angry with yourself. Sometimes you even say, I hate myself because I am like that, right? But this is just because the energy is not flowing properly. And part of the things that we do with this initiation is to create a proper way to flow to the energies, to connect your heart and your mind, to connect your impulses with your feelings and your affections. No? So you will not break things. You will not feel guilty. You will not feel sad about what you did. Okay, that's the main purpose or the main consequence of that. Settling the energetical conditions to be aligned. Okay. And it's a psychological quality, right? We always talk about integrity. What is people with integrity? No? We love people with integrity, but what is that? Integrity is when you are aligned with yourself and you act like one. You are not shaking or trembling around or tripping in things because you are connected with yourself. We love people with integrity, but it's hard to learn how to create integrity, okay? And this is something, these energy flows and these energy connections are creating the energy conditions to make that, to integrate yourself into one, to align yourself with your inner self, with your seed, with this high power in you, and then to develop integrity. Basically, people with integrity is people who walk his talk, right? And that's what we can start to build by making these connections. And of course, the initiation of the Chumpiawa is only the very first step of a progression of trainings and exercises that are part of the Chaupi initiation, that are all focused in the developing and cultivation of the Munai, the power of love and will. Okay, so this is just the first step. The first step to really start to perceive Munai love is when you start to feel love for yourself. Okay, how can you feel love for yourself? Well, when you start to walk your talk, you start to love yourself. Okay, and then of course you can only give what you have. So when you really develop this self-love with these energy exercises and things, then you are going to start to be able to offer love to others, to offer love to one person or the group or your community, and this goes wider. The Chaupi training, the middle side, is focused in the Munai. And the Chumpiawa and Nyaukicha is just the first step, the initiation you make to be able to walk and transit that path of the Munai. The final target in the Munai path is to become Tukui Munai Niok, which means full owner of the power of love. Okay, that is our goal. At this start with the initiation, which is the Chumpiawa. Did you see?
Yeah, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And how I like once you have the initiation, like in the meditation, you should empower those belts with yourself, just kind of retracing them and empowering them, isn't it?
Exactly.
Afterwards.
Exactly. Every single thing we teach, in this tradition, in the Hatun Karpa, in the teachings we make, it's an initiation. When you start, you receive instruction, you are guided, and you make an exercise like the Chumpiawe. But then it becomes a practice. So it is also a personal practice or an exercise that you can perform many times by yourself. So the practice or the exercise of the Chumpiawe is something that you do by yourself alone, using just your focus to move the energies exactly as I explained before. And so by yourself, you're going to start in your fontanelle in the first step and start pulling the energies down to you. And then with your intention, you're going to make these energies flow and make and remake all the connections and activate all the eyes until you conclude doing the part of the seventh eye, then to fill again yourself with violet light. So as a practice and as an exercise is like that. It's just the recreating of the belt, the activating of the nyawis, the eyes, and is something that you can regularly do as your own personal and private practice, independently of having or not a teacher around you. That is how you keep and maintain the belts and the nyawis open and clear in order to have the best perception of the reality you can have every time.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Just one small little about the lineage initiation, but you don't need to just.
The lineage.
We got by the lake, we got the lineage initiation. Exactly. And you gave us a little stone.
Exactly. During the process of training, we make a connection with our lineage. Okay. It is important to say that this is not focused in a blood lineage. Okay. It's a traditional lineage. So it's related with the teachings. The lineage is focused in the teachings. So you relate with your masters and you relate with the lineage of masters. And it is important for your practice because in certain ways, it's how you are able to perceive your roots. Okay, where you're grounded and rooted in this tradition is through your masters and the masters of your masters. And that's why the lineage can be so important, because it helps us to connect with what are the roots of the tradition, the past, the history, and the masters, and the places where these masters live and practice. And it also gives perspective to yourself, because then when you know your projection, you know your path from there. That's why it's important to connect with the roots. And we do that through our lineage. Juan and me, we work with two lineages. One is the Qéro lineage, and the other is the Cusco lineage. Okay, the lineage of masters of Qéro and the lineage of masters of Cusco or Cusco. Okay, Cusco is the city where I was born. Qéro it's a place, it's an area where the Qéro people live that is like not so far, but it's not in the same place than Cusco. It's another place. Let's say it's 90 kilometers away from Cusco. Okay, more or less in the south direction. Okay, two different places, two different lineages. And in every one of these places, we found teachers. Okay, I mentioned that my father was trained by Don Andrés Espinosa, master of Qéro back in the 80s. Okay, but Don Andrés Espinosa was the student of Dionisio Machaca, and Dionisio Machaca was the owner of that school before, and then Don Andrés built the new school and where my father was trained. And then Dionisio Machaca was the student of Garavilo Quispe. Don Garavilo Quispe, it's a legendary Paco who lived maybe at the end of the 19th century. And he's very special because according to his story, he was a perfect healer. So he could keep the health of all his people, the Qéro nation, with his mystical powers. The Garavito Quispe for us is, as you know, what we call the fifth level person. Fifth level person, which is beyond the work we are doing, is what we would like to achieve now. Okay, the fifth level person is a perfect healer. Somebody who just with the touch of the hands is able to restore the health of a person. Okay, a perfect healer. And he can do that every time. That's why it's called perfect healer, because the tradition says that you will be able to heal every single person that comes to you and in any circumstance, without any conditions. And now in our lineage, we have this master, Don Garavilo Quispe, master of the end of the 19th century. The traditions say that he was a fifth level healer, a great master. And then after that, the traditional way to see your lineage is you have to know the 3 teachers before you. Okay, that's the traditional way. And then, of course, you know that there's a chain of masters who kept this tradition across the centuries, okay? But then you also need to know the founder of your tradition, okay? And the founder of the Qéro tradition is Inkari. Inkari is the first of our lineage. He must have lived back in the 10th century, more or less. Is more or less the times of the foundation of the Inca kingdom, of the Inca, okay, nation. And so we see our roots back into those times, around the 10th century, when the Inca Empire starts. And this is related with our Qéro lineage, with the masters I mentioned. So it's Andrés Espinosa, Dionisio Machaca, Garavilo Quispe, and finally Inkari. This is the lineage as we teach it and as we share it with everybody. That is important to know. That something very characteristic is that we found out the only ones that keep and take care and teach the lineage to their students are 4th-level masters. I don't know if I told you that before, but we found out in our teachers that we have worked with hundreds of Pacos, probably 150, close to 200 different Pacos of all the levels, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But only the 4th-level masters, the highest developed masters, were the ones who took very good care of sharing and teaching the lineage. Seems like only at this stage of evolution of your practices, you start to see the importance of honoring your lineage, okay? And then this is what gives you the perspective of the 4th level, which for us is a high quality teaching, okay? So it's a mark. You can know that if your master teach you the lineage, is a 4th-level master. If they don't, maybe they are not necessarily in the 4th level. It can be a 3rd, 2nd, or 1st level, okay? Now, talking about the Cusco lineage, okay, the first contact that my father had with the tradition was back in 1979, and his master was Don Benito Corihuaman, okay? And Don Benito Corihuaman was a teacher in Huasao, is a little town just outside Cusco, okay? And that's where we have found the tradition in the first place. It was the first master of us, and we received the teachings directly from him from the beginning. And after that, he in certain way introduced us with other masters, like Don Andrés Espinosa, or others that were his friends, his colleagues. He addressed us to learn with them. But Don Benito was our first gate. Our first meeting with the tradition was with him. I took my first initiation directed by Don Benito back in 1979, because he advised us to go as pilgrims to Coyoriti. It's a sanctuary in the high mountains of Peru. And that was for us the first step and the first initiation we made. So that was 79. I was 7 years old. So my first step, my first initiation as a Paco was then in 1979, when I was 7 years old. It was very early for the tradition even, no? Because in the tradition, you cannot take an initiation before the age of 7. So I was really, really early, the first possible moment, okay? Kids are not told about the tradition before the age of 7, and you cannot do that before. So I was very lucky because I was exactly the age in the moment of the meeting of Don Benito, so I could take my first level initiation in that way. And then I continued my teaching. But Don Benito Corihuaman was the first of this lineage of masters for us, the closest, our teacher. And then Don Benito was the student of Don Julián Challaicu. Don Julián Challaicu was the master of Don Benito. He also taught in Wasao, in this little town outside Cusco. And Don Julián Challaicu was the student of Don Manuel Pinta. Manuel Pinta in our lineage is very important because today he is an Apu. So Apu is the spirit of a mountain, a protector, no? And Apus are very important in our tradition back in Peru. So with the time, and we learned that from Don Benito, a great master can become an Apu. And Don Manuel Pinta, the master of our master, of Don Benito, was a great teacher, and in a certain moment he became an Apu through a ceremony that his students did. So Don Benito and Don Julián and some other students and followers of him made this ceremony, okay, which is called Wasi Chakui. Wasi means home, okay, and Chakui is to make home. So in this ceremony, the students and the followers invite this master who already passed away, and they invite this master to come down from heaven to live in that mountain, to take house. This is the Wasi Chakui ceremony, to take house in a place close to his people. And from that place, he can really play the role of an Apu, which is a kind of protector or guide, spiritual connection, and also kind of provider for the people from that place. So one of the masters in our lineage is today an Apu. And if you go to Wasao town today and you ask, who is the Apu protector of Wasao? People will tell you, oh, it's up there in front, and it's Don Manuel Pinta, it's Manuel Pinta, Apu, okay? So this is our close lineage. Those are the 3 masters before us. And of course, after that, we have to know which is the founder of our lineage. In the Cusco lineage, our founder is Huáscar Inca. Huáscar Inca was the last free Inca, the last ruler of the Inca Empire back in the 16th century. Okay, so then our Cusco lineage goes as follows: is Don Benito Corihuaman, Don Julián Challaicu, Don Manuel Pinta Apu. Then, of course, we know there is a change of continuity of many masters between, but then the founder of the Cusco lineage is Huáscar Inca, the last free Inca ruler of the Inca Empire back in the 16th century. Okay, and this is the second or the first lineage we work with. We have initiations and teachings received from these 2 lineages. Okay, and that's very important for us, and we encourage our students to keep that lineage and the knowledge of the lineage and to pass it on to the next generation, because this connection with our roots, this connection with the past and how the tradition evolves across time for a Paco like us is very important, because this is really what is going to give you the perspective of what you are doing in projection in the future. That's something.
Yeah, no, but it's amazing as well that sometimes when I go to a river or make an offering, or climb a mountain or whatever to make an offering, I can see Don Benito walking in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the lineage that really do come and support you.
Yes, yes. When you create this connection with your lineage and the masters, they can come to you and teach you. Maybe there's something that I, as your teacher, cannot pass to you, and I forgot or whatever. And then you can have direct access to the teachers in that way, and they will come to you and they will teach you and they will help you with your training. That's how we see it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And can I just one more little question about the initiation through water?
Absolutely. Water, where we call it Mama Uno, mother water. No? And water is a very important factor of the tradition, is one of the 7 Tekse Apu, or universal apus. And just for you to know, those universal apus are the Taita Waira, Father Wind, Taita Inti, Father Sun, Mama Uno, Mother Water, Mama Alpa, Mother Earth, Mama Quilla, Mother Moon, and then Jesus and Holy Mary. That makes 7. Jesus and Holy Mary took the places of Viracocha and Pachamama. So you can use both. Viracocha and Pachamama, this is the most traditional way, or Jesus and Holy Mary, this is the contemporary way. But the 7 Tekse Apus or universal apus are those that I just mentioned. Mama Unu, Mother Water, is one of the main sources of energy, is a main connector through the water, to the waters. You can reach anything in the world from wherever you are, okay? And water are all the kinds of waters, okay? For example, we have Hanakpacha water, Hanakpacha Uno, water from the upper world. And we see that this water from the upper world are the clouds and the rain and the hail and the snow. Okay, it's water that comes down from the upper world and then it carries energy from the upper world. Okay, we also have the water of this world, the Kaipacha Uno, the water of this world at our level. And those are, the main one, of course, is Mama Cocha, the sea, okay? And then the Cocha, all the lakes and rivers, okay? And glaciers on top of the hills, okay? All those are waters, energies of water of this world. So through this water, we can connect with the energies of the Kaipacha. And then the third kind of waters are the waters from the underworld, Uhupacha Unu. Those are the emergencies of water that come from the underworld, like in the springs. Okay, the springs are flowing from the underworld to this world, and then they are carrying water and energy from the underworld. So we connect with all these aspects of waters from the upper world, waters from this world, waters from the underworld to the Uhupacha. And mainly the power of water, Mama Unu, Mother Water is called, is a female power. And then a source of female energy of many kinds. When you connect first with Mama Unu, Mother Water, when you go in deep in your work with water, you are going to connect with the Nustas of water. Unu Nusta are different aspects of the energy of the water, and the aspects are differentiated by their age. Okay, so the Nustas of the water are going to be a teenager, Nusta, okay, then a young adult Nusta, then a mother, and then a grandmother. Okay, so if you connect with the water princesses or Nustas, they have different ages. and they are the different ways of being a woman according to our tradition. There's a big difference in energy and frequency of power from a teenager to a young woman, to a mother, to a grandmother, okay, the wise woman. So when you connect in detail and in deep with the water, you are going to meet those princesses. In our work, we are going to go to places, for example, to temples where you can find those energies in different places. No? You have made the left side Hatun Karpa in Peru with us, right? In that initiation, we are going to go to one temple of the water, and in that temple, we are going to work with different waterfalls, and each waterfall is going to give you one of the aspects of the water power. Okay, so you can connect with this. And this can also be given to you by people who is at that age. If you connect with a teenager, or you connect with a young woman, or you connect with a mother or a grandmother, an elder, you can also receive from them this empowering. And of course, you as a woman are going to transit those stages. Okay. When you as a woman connect with those powers, you are cultivating and developing your conscious world. You are, of course, consciously a woman, and those new stars are going to empower you. If you're a man like me, when you connect with those powers, you are bringing energy to your unconscious world, to your Uhupacha. And you are empowering factors that are in your Uhupacha, the female energies or energies in you that need those kinds of energies. So it's different to connect with the water when you are a woman than when you are a man, because the consequences different are complementary, okay, but different. No? So in the work with the waters, of course, we use the water as a connector. We use cascades or water flows or lakes or rivers to pull and receive these energies. One main water factor in our tradition, for example, is Wilcañusta, the river. It's like the holy river of the Incas. This river is close to every single temple, every single important place for the Inca culture in the core of the Inca tradition around Cusco and this area is just next to this river. Wilcañusta, the princess of the Wilca power, this black light we were talking about before, is a source of energy, is a female source of energy, and is deeply related with the water. The water is the main connector. So in our ritual system of power places, this river is like the spinal cord of the whole system, what carries and makes the energy flow and connects all the power places of the Incas in the core of the tradition.
Yeah, it's amazing. We in the course what I got the students to make an offering to the water, to this holy well, which is here just up the road here, and it's actually Mother Mary statue which was moving at that time, you know, but there's a holy well. So I took that water from there, and they made kind of an offering to it, and then we gave the initiation through the water, and it was so powerful.
Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, thanks very much. That was absolutely amazing.
You are very welcome. I think we have made something beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I hope to be with you if you're doing the trip next year.
Next year, for sure, in September, the first week of September, we are going to have this World Paco meeting in Cusco. So you are invited, and please let everybody know that the Pacos are meeting in September in Cusco again.
Brilliant. Okay.
Okay.
So all the best.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, all the best, and Ivan. Thank you. Thank you so much.